The daily practices for a woman's inner peace and elegant strength. Every woman holds within her an immense and quiet power, a profound strength that sometimes feels elusive. This isn't because she lacks true capability, but often because of subtle, deeply ingrained patterns she might not even be fully aware of. Consider it a gentle paradox. The vibrancy of your energy, the depth of your emotions, the impact of the words you choose, your capacity for profound love, or your ability to remain composed when facing life's difficulties. None of these truly depend on making dramatic, sweeping changes to your external circumstances. Instead, they blossom from the tender, consistent habits you cultivate and repeat each day, many of which remain unseen by others. If these intrinsic patterns aren't fully understood and consciously managed, they can subtly begin to constrain you, forming an invisible cage around your potential. These patterns quietly dictate how you express yourself when under pressure, how you respond when you feel disrespected, whether you contribute to calm or chaos in your environment, and whether you foster deep, lasting connections or inadvertently break them apart. So, in our discussion today, we are not focusing on the conventional idea of worldly success, as society often defines it. Rather, we are exploring the profound art of self-mastery, not for the sake of impressing others, but for the deeply personal journey of discovering inner peace and cultivating an elegant strength that originates so deeply within you that no external force can ever diminish it. This inner resilience grows from the very core of your being. Let us now embark on a shared exploration of these daily practices. On the surface, they may appear modest or insignificant, yet when approached with careful thought and genuine intention, they unfold into incredibly powerful tools for transformation. When a woman awakens in the quiet embrace of morning, the bustling world has not yet begun to make its demands upon her. In these tranquil, early moments, she stands at a profound turning point. How will she choose to meet the day? Will it be with a scattered, noisy mind, already overwhelmed by pending tasks and anxieties, or with a serene, resolute spirit, grounded and ready? There's an ancient wisdom that suggests how you initiate your morning inherently sets the energetic tone for everything you carry forth into the world. And that energy, far more than the words you speak or the physical appearance you present, is the very first thing others instinctively perceive and respond to from you. This is precisely why the first foundational daily practice every woman absolutely needs to embrace isn't about adding more items to her already busy schedule. It's about the profound simplicity of just being still. Stillness isn't about attempting to achieve a complete absence of thought, which is often an unattainable goal. Instead, it's about learning not to become entangled or carried away by the incessant stream of your thoughts. It is the conscious practice of beginning your day from a deeply centered place within yourself, rather than immediately allowing the external world to pull you in countless directions. In many ancient traditions, the inner self is revered as the ultimate starting point for every experience that unfolds in the outer world. If your mind is cluttered and chaotic, your subsequent actions will likely reflect that same disorganization. If your heart carries a sense of unease, your words will inevitably convey that underlying tension. This is why a woman who consciously teaches herself to begin her morning in silence, perhaps engaging in deep contemplation or simply focusing on quiet, deliberate breathing, doesn't just calm her immediate thoughts. She actively reclaims a profound sense of control over how her life feels and unfolds. Many stylists and life coaches suggest that starting the day with focused quiet brings a profound sense of calm and balance. Her clarity of thought and ability to make good choices tend to improve. This means she is more likely to respond to life's challenges from a place of deeper wisdom and considered intention, rather than from ingrained, impulsive emotional habits. Over time, this consistent practice cultivates emotional toughness, a quality far more profoundly appealing than any fleeting physical attractiveness. There was a woman in her 50s who once shared her transformative experience at a wellness retreat nestled high in the mountains. She had spent her entire adult life tirelessly raising children, juggling 2 jobs, and constantly rushing from one demand to the next. She often felt physically tense, her moods were unpredictable, and her relationships had become strained. "I lived in constant reaction," she admitted. "It felt like the world perpetually pushed me, and I felt I had no choice but to push back." But something fundamental began to change when she committed to a daily practice of waking at 5:30 in the morning, lighting a small candle, and simply sitting in silence for 15 minutes. No phone, no talking, just focused breathing. After several weeks, she began to notice something quite remarkable. Her adult son started speaking to her with greater gentleness. Her coworkers reacted to her presence with noticeably more respect, and she no longer found herself shedding tears over small, everyday frustrations. This commitment to stillness had gently softened her inner world and, paradoxically, strengthened her presence in the external world. She hadn't changed the world around her. She had simply returned to her true, authentic self. The feminine spirit possesses a naturally deep well of insight, but intuition, being a subtle force, cannot effectively function in a noisy, chaotic environment. It whispers its truths. It does not shout. That's why this morning practice isn't merely spiritual. It is profoundly practical. A woman who intentionally listens to her inner voice before the outside world dictates her actions develops a calmer inner state. This becomes her most reliable shield in a world that frequently prioritizes speed and immediate reaction over thoughtful judgment. This is how she truly begins to develop emotional self-control, not by suppressing or denying her feelings, but by discovering a strong, unwavering anchor deep within her being. When a woman starts her day firmly rooted in stillness, her relationships inevitably transform. She no longer feels compelled to demand peace from others. Instead, she consciously brings a serene presence into the shared space. Her partner naturally feels safer to open up and share. Her children tend to be less reactive because they sense her consistent, grounded presence. Even amidst arguments, she maintains a quiet, centered composure. She doesn't anxiously chase outcomes. She doesn't plead. She pauses. And in that crucial pause, she perceives situations with far greater clarity. She learns that not every comment requires an immediate reply. Not every invitation needs to be accepted, and not every problem is inherently hers to solve. This habit, though seemingly simple, represents one of the most profound acts of honoring her emotional self. It quietly declares, "Before I extend myself to the world, I will first spend time nurturing myself." That profound stillness becomes her personal sanctuary, and from this sanctuary, her true power steadily grows. However, stillness, powerful as it is not sufficient on its own. We must also cultivate a deeper understanding of the natural rhythms of our own bodies, listening to the silent, profound language of our breathing. This leads us directly to the second essential daily practice every woman must master: consciously guiding her emotional self through thoughtful and intentional breathing. We are born with an innate understanding of how to breathe optimally, deeply, fully, and with a steady rhythm. Yet, over time, due to the cumulative effects of stress, challenging life experiences, and societal pressures, many women inadvertently begin to hold their breath, especially when experiencing emotional tension. They breathe shallowly, primarily in their chest, rather than engaging their diaphragm and belly, and this superficial breathing sends an unwitting signal to the body that it is under threat. Without realizing it, countless women live in a constant, low-level state of readiness for fight or flight, not because of any immediate danger, but simply because their breathing patterns are perpetually instructing their inner systems to remain alert and prepared. Here's a deeply insightful observation that contemporary understanding confirms. Breathing is one of the rare bodily functions that is both completely automatic and simultaneously something we can consciously control. This unique dual nature makes it a direct, powerful link between our unconscious mind and our conscious awareness. When a woman truly learns to return to her breath, not just during moments of quiet reflection, but consistently throughout her busy day, she sends a profound and reassuring message to her body: I am safe. Emotional safety forms the bedrock of every meaningful and important relationship. Without it, a woman tends to react impulsively rather than respond thoughtfully. She might over-explain things, strive excessively to please others, or become overly sensitive to perceived slights. However, when her breathing is slow, deep, and steady, her entire presence communicates a calm, unwavering confidence. This has a remarkably powerful, almost magnetic effect on those around her. Her partner feels emotionally supported without feeling controlled or pressured. Her friends feel genuinely understood without feeling judged. Even strangers often react to her with unexpected warmth and kindness. Why? Because human beings are inherently designed to intuitively sense the emotional state of others long before they even process their words. I once heard a poignant story about a school teacher in her 60s who had grappled for many years with persistent worry and an unrelenting sense of tiredness. Her doctor had prescribed various medications, but nothing seemed to bring her lasting or significant relief. Eventually, she was introduced to a very simple yet profound breathing exercise. Inhale slowly and deliberately for a count of 4, then exhale gently and completely for a count of 6. She committed to practicing this 3 times a day, particularly before stepping into her bustling classroom or anticipating a difficult conversation. Within a mere month, she noticed remarkable improvements. She felt a greater sense of calm and physical ease, and her thoughts became noticeably less chaotic. She found she had more patience and empathy with her students and felt less burdened by negative emotions after having to discipline them. Her relationships across the board improved significantly, not because others had changed their behavior, but because she herself had begun to consistently inhabit a calmer, more balanced inner state. Her breath had truly become her steady, reliable anchor. In the intricate dance of relationships, intentional breathing skillfully creates a vital space between an event happening and your subsequent reaction to it. A woman who consciously takes a moment to breathe before reacting becomes less emotionally entangled in immediate drama. She doesn't feel the urge to interrupt. She genuinely listens. She speaks more slowly, with greater care and consideration. This deliberate approach doesn't make her weak. It makes her profoundly strong, because true presence is power, and genuine presence always begins with the breath. Deep, intentional breathing brings a profound sense of calm. It fosters a relaxed state, which can lead to a greater sense of well-being and openness, supporting deeper connections with others. So, when a woman breathes carefully and consciously, she is not only bringing a sense of calm to herself, but she is also making herself more emotionally available and receptive to others. That, fundamentally, is how trust is built, not only with others, but crucially within herself. There's a beautiful quote from an ancient spiritual text: "The wise woman breathes from her heels." This is a poetic and profound way of conveying that her breath reaches deep into the very core of her body, grounding her with the unwavering stability of a mountain. She is not easily swayed or moved by the storms of life. She may certainly feel the rain, but she does not crumble or fall apart beneath it. In the fast-paced modern world, women are frequently urged to move faster, push harder, and speak louder. But there exists a deeper, more profound wisdom available to us. Move slower, breathe deeper, speak less. And when you do choose to speak, allow your words to emerge from a place of calm, authentic truth. Breathing is not merely a mechanism for relaxation. It is a profound practice for cultivating presence. It teaches the emotional body to remain open and receptive, yet without overreacting. And in loving relationships, this becomes an invaluable hidden strength. During moments of tension, instead of inadvertently escalating the situation, she breathes. During quiet interludes, she doesn't fill the space with apprehension or fear. She breathes in trust. She gradually begins to embody emotional steadiness. This consistent presence is the kind that naturally earns deep respect, beyond mere affection. Imagine a couple engaged in an argument. The man raises his voice, perhaps out of frustration. The old ingrained pattern might be for the woman to either match his volume with her own or retreat into a stony silence. But a woman who has diligently practiced her intentional breathing pauses. She grounds herself internally before formulating her reply. She gently slows the rhythm of the conversation. She doesn't need to control him. She simply steadies herself. And in that singular, mindful moment, she has the capacity to shift the entire dynamic of the situation, not through dominance or force, but with a quiet, unwavering calm. This journey is not about striving for unattainable perfection. There will inevitably be days when her breathing feels shallow, when emotions overflow, or when finding quiet seems utterly impossible. But the true essence of the practice isn't about getting it flawlessly right every single time. It's about the consistent, compassionate act of returning to it again and again. That, precisely, is where true mastery truly begins, in the deliberate, persistent act of returning to your center. There is a sacred, profound power inherent in a woman who wakes early, dedicates time to stillness, and consciously remembers how to breathe herself back to her essential core. She no longer looks to the external world to provide her with a sense of security. Instead, she becomes the very source of her own security. She no longer waits for someone else to calm her. She cultivates that calm within herself. And in that exquisitely self-created space, she transforms into the kind of woman whose very presence radiates a sense of healing and peace. This happens simply because she has made inner peace her steadfast daily practice. In life, it's not simply what happens to us that shapes our being. It is profoundly how we choose to react to what happens. And yet, many people, consciously or unconsciously, are not responding. They are merely reacting. These are two fundamentally distinct states of being. A reaction is typically immediate, emotionally driven, and often occurs without conscious thought. It frequently springs from unaddressed past hurts, from ego, or from underlying fear. A response, however, is thoughtful, intentional, and firmly rooted in the present moment. The difference between these two approaches may appear subtle on the surface, but their ultimate results are anything but. For a woman dedicated to seeking emotional balance, fostering peace in her relationships, and cultivating deep inner strength, the capacity to observe her inner state before wants to be reacting is not just a beneficial habit, it is a vital pathway to profound self-mastery. Picture this scenario. A woman walks into a room where her partner is seated silently. He doesn't immediately look up or acknowledge her presence. She feels a sharp pang of unease in her chest. Her mind immediately begins to race. Is he upset with me? Did I do something wrong? Why is he ignoring me? And before she fully comprehends it, she has perhaps slammed her bag onto the table or inquired in a sharp, accusatory tone, "What's wrong with you?" The tension in the room instantly escalates. The evening is now permeated with invisible barriers and a palpable emotional distance. Now imagine the same woman, but one who has diligently developed the practice of mindfully noticing her inner state before reacting. She still enters the room, observes his silence, and feels that same initial wave of unease. But this time, she pauses. She takes a deliberate breath. She quietly identifies the emotion she's experiencing. I'm feeling unsure. I'm feeling unseen. And instead of confronting him with an immediate surge of annoyance, she thoughtfully offers space. Perhaps she sits quietly beside him. Maybe she says gently, "You seem quiet tonight. Is everything okay?" That crucial shift from automatic reaction to conscious observation instantly creates a profound sense of emotional safety. It builds trust. It keeps the vital connection between them strong and resilient. This, fundamentally, is the core of true inner work. Learning to compassionately observe your own emotions without allowing them to completely overwhelm or control you. The Buddhist tradition speaks beautifully of this as watching the river without jumping in. Emotions are much like water. They flow, they surge, eventually settle. But we are not the water itself. We are the conscious awareness that observes it. The more consistently a woman practices this kind of mindful observation, the more she begins to discern recurring patterns. She notices how certain tones of voice particularly unsettle her. She observes that physical tiredness makes her significantly more sensitive to external stimuli. She realizes that old, unresolved hurts from her childhood often unconsciously fuel current disagreements. And with each new, profound understanding, she becomes progressively less reactive and more capable of responding thoughtfully and deliberately. From a psychological perspective, this practice of mindful observation empowers the part of the brain responsible for rational thought, allowing it to take precedence over the part that typically drives fear-based, impulsive reactions. Over time, this consistent practice trains the brain to cultivate patience, clarity, and remarkable emotional flexibility. One woman once shared how this simple idea profoundly transformed her 30-year marriage. Her husband, a naturally quiet man, often retreated into silence during arguments. This had previously made her absolutely furious. "Why won't you talk to me?" she would demand, interpreting his silence as a personal rejection. But after diligently learning to pause and carefully observe her own intense emotional reactions, she began to approach these moments with a renewed perspective. She would feel the familiar surge of old fear rise within her, acknowledge it, but then consciously choose not to act on it impulsively. One evening, instead of confronting him, she simply stated with quiet sincerity, "When you go quiet, I feel a sense of distance growing between us. I truly want us to stay connected." To her genuine surprise, he opened up. "I just don't always have the right words in the moment," he admitted. That single, honest moment eased years of accumulated tension between them, precisely because she had chosen to observe her own feelings rather than impulsively react. True connection became beautifully possible. Often, we are not taught the vital importance of pausing. Instead, we are implicitly taught to perform, to defend ourselves, to answer quickly and decisively. But profound emotional maturity emerges from the understanding that not everything demands your immediate reply. Not every criticism is inherently about you. Not every disagreement represents a genuine threat. Sometimes, the highest form of wisdom lies in the strength of holding back, in conscious restraint. Eastern martial arts traditions emphasize this principle deeply. The master does not strike first. She waits. She carefully reads the energy of the situation. She only moves when it is truly necessary, and when she does, her action is precise and impactful. In life, this profound idea applies beautifully. A woman who diligently observes her own reactions gains an invaluable freedom from being automatically pulled into pointless conflicts and draining drama. She becomes incredibly discerning. She no longer squanders her precious energy on unnecessary emotional turmoil. She inherently understands that her inner peace is sacred and inviolable. In relationships, this understanding fundamentally changes everything, because relationships are rarely destroyed by a single, isolated comment. Rather, they slowly erode and wear away from a continuous accumulation of unchecked, impulsive reactions. sharp words spoken without thought, unaddressed assumptions, and unresolved resentments. But if a woman can insert even a small, intentional pause between her initial emotion and its subsequent expression, she effectively breaks that destructive cycle. That pause in itself is immense power. It might mean temporarily stepping away for 5 minutes or taking a few deep breaths before replying to a challenging message. It might mean consciously choosing silence over sarcasm. It might even mean meticulously writing down her emotions in a journal before ever speaking them aloud. Whatever form it takes, the central guiding idea remains clear. Observe first, and then consciously choose your response. There's a powerful and often quoted wisdom. Between what happens to us and our response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose how we respond. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. This invaluable space is precisely what the reactive mind often fears, but the truly aware woman deeply respects and honors it. To observe before reacting is not about suppressing or denying legitimate feelings. Instead, it is about cultivating profound self-restraint. And self-restraint in a woman naturally attracts a particular kind of relationship, one built on honesty and truth rather than unnecessary drama, one that consistently invites mutual respect rather than endless power struggles. But how does one systematically develop this profound habit, especially after years of living on emotional autopilot? It truly begins with the consistent practice of emotional cleansing, which is the fourth essential habit every woman must master. Every day, we diligently clean our homes, we wash our dishes, and we bathe our bodies. Yet surprisingly few of us dedicate the same conscious effort to cleansing our emotions. However, emotions, much like physical dirt, can gradually accumulate. They cling stubbornly to unfinished conversations, to criticisms not yet fully processed, to sadness that has been pushed aside and ignored. Over time, these unaddressed emotions can weigh down the spirit, tighten the chest, cloud the mind, and manifest as persistent irritation, lingering tiredness, deep-seated resentment, or a pervasive sense of numbness. Just as the physical body requires regular cleaning, so too does the heart. Emotional cleansing is not a dramatic or arduous process. It is gentle, daily, and often quiet. Yet it is absolutely essential for fostering clear, healthy relationships and maintaining a vibrant inner vitality. One incredibly powerful and accessible tool for this process is journaling. At the close of each day, a woman consciously sits with her feelings, not with the intention of immediately fixing them, but simply to allow them to be seen, acknowledged, and understood. She might write, "Today, I felt a pang of being ignored when my efforts weren't acknowledged. I felt utterly drained after giving too much in a conversation that lacked balance. And I felt a pure rush of joy when my daughter hugged me." This consistent practice is akin to gently sweeping the emotional floor of her being. It prevents the accumulation of emotional dust from becoming an overwhelming problem. A poignant story comes to mind about a woman who had endured years of quiet frustration within her marriage. She meticulously avoided vocalizing her disappointments, convinced she didn't want to be a burden. But over time, those unspoken emotions slowly solidified into a bitter resentment. She gradually stopped reaching for her husband's hand. She began to snap impatiently at her children. She felt perpetually weighed down by an emotional heaviness. Finally, after attending an insightful workshop on mindfulness, she embarked on a simple daily practice: writing one letter a day. These letters were not intended to be sent, but purely to provide an outlet for her self-expression. Sometimes she wrote to her husband, sometimes to her past self, and sometimes to her deceased father. Within just 3 weeks, her facial expression softened, her body visibly relaxed, and her genuine laughter returned. When emotions are expressed in a safe, contained manner, they lose their power to poison the present moment. Another incredibly effective way to emotionally cleanse is by consciously spending time immersed in nature. Nature possesses a remarkable capacity to absorb emotional noise and turmoil without judgment. A woman who walks slowly beneath ancient trees, listens attentively to the songs of birds, or simply gazes at the shifting clouds is, often unknowingly, profoundly grounding herself. She is gently releasing pent-up energy. She is reconnecting to something vast and enduring, something far greater than the confines of her own mind. Psychologically, engaging with nature helps to soothe the mind. It contributes to a feeling of inner peace and equilibrium. Spiritually, nature constantly reminds us that nothing is truly permanent. A fallen leaf does not resist its fate, it gracefully yields. This powerful imagery reminds a woman that emotions too are meant to flow through us, not to become trapped or stuck. Sometimes, emotional cleansing comes through meaningful conversation, not necessarily with many people, but with one safe, trusted individual. Someone who listens deeply without attempting to immediately fix or solve everything. Someone who doesn't judge the inherent messiness of human emotion. This kind of profound emotional closeness is rare and precious, but it is also deeply healing. When a woman discovers such a safe space, she must cherish and value it, because in sharing her vulnerabilities, she sheds immense burdens. Then there is movement, conscious, purposeful movement. This could be dance, gentle stretching, or even simply shaking her limbs freely in silence. The body itself holds a reservoir of unexpressed emotion, particularly in areas like the hips, jaw, and shoulders. By intentionally moving the body, we facilitate the release of what the mind might not be able to process on its own. The body communicates through feeling and sensation. When we give it the space and freedom to move authentically, it naturally returns to a state of balance and harmony. But none of this profound work is truly possible without awareness. Emotional cleansing always begins with noticing. I am feeling bitter. I am holding tension in my chest. There's a sadness I've ignored for weeks. It is rarely the emotion itself that causes lasting harm. Rather, it is the unwillingness to fully feel and acknowledge it. Once an emotion is named and brought into conscious awareness, it begins to loosen its grip. In relationships, this practice of emotional cleansing is truly life-changing. A woman who diligently cleanses her emotions daily does not unconsciously project old pain onto her partner. She does not mistakenly interpret past betrayals as reflections of her current love. She understands precisely what she feels and takes full, compassionate responsibility for it. She does not expect others to magically read her mind. She speaks with clarity and precision, not with confusion. She confidently asks for what she genuinely needs. She apologizes sincerely when it is necessary. This kind of emotional cleanliness fosters a love that breathes freely, rather than one that smothers or constrains. It also makes her truly shine. There's an undeniable glow that emanates from a woman who is not burdened by the weight of yesterday's unaddressed emotions. Her eyes are clear and radiant. Her voice is soft, yet firmly grounded. Her entire presence feels inherently safe and welcoming. She doesn't need to act kind. Kindness flows naturally from her, because she is not internally defending herself from her own emotions. From a spiritual perspective, this practice is often referred to as purification, not in the sense of moral goodness, but in the sense of clearing and refining energetic space. A pure heart is not one that is devoid of pain. It is one that simply chooses not to hold on to pain. A woman who learns the rhythm of feeling and releasing, naturally becomes more open and receptive. She becomes deeply present. And in her radiant presence, others often feel an unspoken desire to improve themselves and connect more authentically. These daily habits, pausing before reacting and consciously cleansing the emotional body, are rarely glamorous or outwardly impressive. They are often invisible to the external world. Yet, they are incredibly transformative, shaping the fundamental quality of a woman's relationships, her overall well-being, her profound happiness, and her capacity to both give and receive love fully. Because a woman who truly knows how to observe her emotions without being overwhelmed by them, and how to release them without suppressing them, becomes a profound safe haven, not only for herself, but for everyone she encounters. A woman's profound ability to discover stillness in a perpetually noisy world is not merely a spiritual luxury, it is an absolute necessity. Silence in today's frenetic world is often misconstrued as emptiness or an absence of activity. But true silence is abundantly full. It contains profound wisdom, restorative energy, and undeniable truth. It is precisely in this sacred silence that a woman truly meets herself, stripped away from her various titles, her societal roles, or the countless expectations placed upon her. To consciously sit in silence, even for just a few minutes each day, is to return to what is genuinely real. It is to remember that beneath all the tasks we accomplish and the roles we play, there resides a core being that simply exists, peaceful and complete. In the timeless teachings of Eastern philosophy, silence is never equated with nothingness. It is revered as pure presence. In the rigorous Shaolin tradition, silence is practiced not as a means to escape life's challenges, but to become more profoundly and intimately connected to life itself. A woman who consistently practices stillness begins to experience life with greater vividness and depth. She notices the gentle movement of the wind, the rhythmic flow of her own breath, the subtle, shifting nuances within her emotional landscape. She becomes aware of aspects of herself she typically avoids or runs from, moments of loneliness, unmet needs, or profound truths she often sidesteps when distracted. Contemporary understanding of the brain further confirms the profound power of stillness. When the mind is given time to rest, it doesn't simply turn off. Instead, it engages in deep processes of self-reflection, integrating experiences and understanding emotions more fully. In stillness, the mind naturally organizes itself. This is why moments of sudden insight or clarity often occur not when we are intensely trying to force a solution, but when we are simply being present and receptive. A woman might grapple with a difficult decision for days, but in one quiet morning, the answer might arrive not as a logical conclusion, but as an undeniable inner knowing. Consider the woman who consciously begins her day not with an immediate rush of tasks or a flurry of phone alerts, but with 10 minutes of quiet, intentional sitting. She might light a small candle. She places both hands gently upon her heart. She listens, not to an external voice, but to what stirs profoundly within her. Some days, it might be a profound sense of calm. Other days, a restless energy might emerge. But she doesn't fight either sensation. She simply observes. Over time, something truly profound begins to shift within her. She no longer feels a constant, urgent need to prove her worth to the world. Her day unfolds not from a frantic sense of urgency, but from a clear, deeply rooted purpose. She becomes deeply grounded and centered, rather than perpetually hurried. In her relationships, this cultivated stillness blossoms into a profound, safe space. When a woman is still within, she is not easily provoked or swayed by external circumstances. She doesn't fall into the common trap of over-explaining herself, overthinking the shifting moods of others, or overreacting to moments of quiet. She is truly grounded in her own being. Her partner instinctively senses this. Her children feel this reassuring presence. The people around her begin to relax and find ease in her presence. Why? Because true stillness is inherently captivating and deeply appealing. It radiates an authentic peace, not a contrived performance. There's a teaching story from Zen tradition about a student who, seeking wisdom, asked his master, "How do I become wise?" The master calmly replied, "Sit down and be quiet." The student waited patiently, then, still puzzled, asked again. The master simply reiterated, "Then wisdom will find you." It is a deceptively simple instruction, yet profoundly challenging to practice in our modern lives. In a world that constantly values and rewards relentless busyness, stillness becomes a quiet act of rebellion. But it is precisely in this gentle act of rebellion that a woman profoundly reclaims her intrinsic power. From a physical perspective, embracing stillness can bring a deep sense of calm throughout the body. It promotes a more relaxed pace, helps to ease physical tension, and contributes to overall emotional ease. This is far more than mere relaxation. It is a profound resetting of her entire system. It provides the body with essential space to recover from accumulated emotional tiredness, from the burden of too many decisions, and from the stresses inherent in relationships. But stillness is not solely physical. There is also emotional stillness, the profound ability to sit with an emotion without rushing to immediately fix or dismiss it, to allow sadness to be felt without needing to escape its presence, to wholeheartedly embrace joy without fearing its inevitable end. This deep emotional stillness enhances a woman's capacity to love deeply without clinging too tightly, to grieve fully without completely falling apart, to simply be with her own heart without judgment. One woman eloquently shared how embracing stillness transformed her entire approach to love. She had a long-standing pattern of giving excessively, pouring all her energy into others, meticulously taking care of their emotional needs until she felt utterly drained and resentful. She had mistakenly believed this. Intense self-sacrifice was the essence of love. But in the quietude of stillness, she began to discern the deeper, true reasons for her behavior. It was not love at its core, it was fear. Fear of being left alone, fear of not being good enough unless she constantly proved her worth. She wept, she wrote in her journal, she sat patiently with this deep pain, and then, over time, she gradually began to practice a new, healthier kind of giving, one that originated from a place of profound inner fullness, not from a place of desperate need. Her relationships subsequently transformed, not because others miraculously changed, but because her own fundamental energy had shifted. Stillness had provided her with the honest mirror she needed to truly see herself with clarity. There is a sacred moment in each day where a woman can consciously choose between external noise and profound internal depth. It might be in the serene quiet of the morning, before anyone else in the household is awake. It might be at sunset, as the sky paints its silent, captivating stories. It might even be while driving, choosing the quiet contemplation of silence over the distraction of the radio. These seemingly small, deliberate choices profoundly shape the mind. They gently sculpt the heart. They rigorously train the soul. In traditional Chinese medicine, the heart is revered as the sovereign leader of the body, the very epicenter of awareness and consciousness. But the heart cannot offer wise guidance if it is perpetually restless or agitated. Stillness is precisely what allows the heart to return to its innate wisdom. A woman who habitually lives in a state of emotional reactivity will always be seeking stability and reassurance from external sources. But a woman who consistently practices stillness begins to generate that essential stability from within her own being. Stillness also powerfully reveals the subtle patterns that often unwittingly trap us. A woman might begin to notice that every time she experiences a feeling of unworthiness, she instinctively seeks distractions. She might impulsively text someone. She scrolls mindlessly through her phone. She eats without hunger. She shops unnecessarily. But in the practice of stillness, she pauses. She allows herself to feel the ache, the discomfort. She does not numb it or push it away. And then, something truly amazing begins to unfold. The ache gradually loses its intense power. It transforms. Because feelings, much like waves in the ocean, naturally rise and fall when they are simply allowed to exist without resistance. From a relationship point of view, this is truly groundbreaking. It signifies that a woman no longer seeks a partner to rescue her from her own discomfort. She does not ask another person to fill her quiet, contemplative spaces. She bravely meets her own depths. And when she enters relationships from this profound place of self-sufficiency, she is not needy. she is beautifully complete. This creates an entirely new kind of connection, one founded on shared presence and genuine partnership, not on emotional dependence. In practical terms, how can a woman consistently practice this daily habit of stillness? Begin each morning with your breath. Before reaching for your phone or stepping into your daily tasks, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and simply feel the natural rhythm of your breath entering and leaving your body. Don't attempt to control it, just observe. This simple act profoundly grounds you in the present moment. Utilize guiding phrases during moments of worry or overthinking. Silently repeat phrases like, "I return to stillness," or "This moment is enough." These simple affirmations are not magical spells, but they serve as powerful, gentle reminders. They guide the mind back home to its center. Consistently create intentional times without technology. Even just 10 minutes away from screens can effectively reset and calm your inner state.